Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick video response to Ringo for Life, who made a video about something that I recently was watching. Anyway, so first of all, let me apologize in advance for the quality of this video and maybe for the sound quality. It might be poor, but I was kind of in a rush and I really wanted to say something about this video that Ringo for Life commented on. So I'm going to put a link to Ringo for Life's channel and also to the video in which he's talking about where Bishop Eddie Long receives a very large amount of cash. Something that I'm sure Ringo for Life probably thought about but forgot to mention maybe in his video is first of all, I've been following updates about Bishop Eddie Long and the whole scandal, and it's bad enough that the man is a pedophile pig and a disgusting cult leader who gets away with this stuff, but it's like no one seems to care that this man can be guilty of anything, yet he still has followers. And this is a part of the New World Order, people. They're going to train you to not question anything when it comes down to church. They're going to train you to kind of have this weird trance-like attitude about authoritative figures in church. And again, I'm just in a rush, so I'm kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of hard to describe right now how I feel. So anyhow, the point I'm going to make is that I know that Ringo for Life has probably watched a lot of Bishop Eddie Long videos and has exposed many of these idiots who call themselves bishops, pastors, whatever like that. One thing that I noticed is that, number one, Bishop Eddie Long has, I don't know how many security around him, like maybe 5, 10 different men, on the left and the right to him, up and down, anywhere he's at, there's always at least 5 or 10 men around him, staged in different places. So you'll have like a few of his security guards on the stage, maybe 2. Then you have a few of them sitting up at the front. And then you'll have, like, I guess a few of them just scattered around somewhere. And these people act like mummies, these security guards, and all they do is just listen to him. Now, my point that I try to make, or that I'm trying to make, that I noticed that Ringo didn't bring up, is that being that Eddie Bishop Long had all these security guards, don't you think that had they seen this lady coming, first of all the way back from where she was sitting, they would have stopped her way before she even got up there? Secondly, the reason why I say that is because I know that there have been a few people who have actually stood up in one of his church sermons and tried to confront him about being false or about whatever issue they felt like needed to be addressed and to be exposed. And before they could even open their mouth, Bishop Eddie Long's security guards pretty much had them outside the building. That's what they were trying to do. Yet you have this woman who comes from all the way back out of nowhere while this man is talking in the middle of a sermon, as if that's not rude enough, to hand him, I don't know how much money that was. She hands this man a stack of cash and then does something else at the altar and then walks away as if this is some type of normal transaction. Now, my problem with this video is that, number one, had it been a man, they would have stopped him before he even got up. Secondly, who gets up in the middle of a church sermon to hand someone anything, let alone money? Usually, if you want to help somebody out, you don't do it in front of the whole entire world. But in this church, everything is different. Everything is exaggerated. Everything is emotional. Everything is cultivated to brainwash you. And it's bad enough that I can't stand looking at Bishop Eddie Long's face and having to hear his creaky, raggedy voice. And it just disgusts me that the things that these people, these preachers, get away with doing, and what makes it even worse is that the people who follow them. How do you enable the behavior of a pedophile, of a bishop, of a thief, of a puppet of the New World Order, how do you enable someone like this to live in multi-million-dollar homes, to fly around the world, to have all these cars? Not that it's bad to have those types of things, because if you worked hard for it, then hey, by all means you deserved it. But my issue is with this is that Bishop Eddie Long is a fraud. So is Creflo Dollar. So is T.D. Jakes. So is Joyce Myers. So is Benny Hinn. So is Mike Murdoch. Who else? There's a lot of them out there. All these birds of a feather flock together. They do all these conferences together. They raise money for one another. They network. They kind of feed off of each other. And this is like this demonic cell of people who are supposed to be, I guess, holy or considered holy. And I mean, I almost can't be surprised, because this is exactly what the Bible says would happen, that there are going to be many people who are deceived, and even the most select will be deceived. And I'm just throwing my 2 cents in because I've been really passionate about the information that Ringo for Life has exalted his energy bringing to people who really need to wake up and really wake up and just look around, look at the world around them, look at the people that they're forced to worship. And I really got to give it up to Ringo for Life, because I'm subscribed to him. And I just kind of wanted to say, you know, I really appreciate the work that you do, exhausting the information, the energy and the money and the resources that it must take, and the bravery also that it must take to do something a lot of people don't have the guts to do is really commendable. And there's never anything wrong with spreading the truth. And for anyone who's against it, has a big problem. Obviously, they have absolutely no idea what's really going on. People need to open their eyes. And I'm not just saying that because Ringo for Life says that. A lot of people say that. There's so many warning signs out here. And it's just like, once you go into a church, it's more so like a cult. You're being hypnotized into believing that your emotions somehow are beloved to the person who's preaching them to you, and as if they're going to do everything and anything in their power to help you overcome. And there's nothing worse than the prosperity gospel by a televangelist who has molested 4 men. Men now, but I guess they were boys when it happened. Another thing about that, my opinion, is that even if 4 of those boys were lying, right? Actually, let me scratch that. How can 4 boys who had it all, they had trips around the world, they had money, I guess they had cars, they had luxuries, they had pretty much a lot more than what the average African American, when you say boy, can probably even dream of. Why would they jeopardize that to let the whole world know that the man that they looked up to had sexually abused them? Why would 4 men do that? For what, money? Couldn't have been. They've already been getting money, and more at that. So can all 4 of them be lying? Because if one of them is telling the truth, then obviously it happened. Anyway, this is disgusting. It makes me so furious, and I really, I don't have a structure to what I'm going to say. I just kind of let it roll off my dome, but I just kind of wanted to add my 2 cents in. I promise you my next videos will be more structured. The video quality, sound quality would be a lot better. You won't be looking at my face. And I'll probably have some more information and all that other stuff without me rambling, because this is not something new. So anyhow, like I said, I'm going to put a link to the video that Ringo for Life put up, and then I'm going to put a link to his channel so that you can watch more videos of him exposing these snakes and these rats. Again, I don't support Bishop Eddie Long. I don't support any of these clowns. And personally, the reason why I stopped going to church is because it's false. It's false. And I'll get more into my testimony about it later on down the road, once I, sit down and just kind of gather everything together. One thing I always like to say is that, they're never going to tell you what you're not supposed to know. Always remember that. Question everything. Okay? That's like the number one thing. Question everything. They're never going to tell you what you're not supposed to know. And just remember that you don't have to remain blind. You don't have to even believe it when you hear it. But at least do your own research and test things out. And don't be blind by the faith of this prosperity gospel, because it's a joke. To me, the only difference between a circus and a church is that the clowns in the circus, at the end of the day, wash the makeup off their face. The clowns in the church, this is full-time entertainment for them. This is what they feed off of. This is their business. And I just hope that you guys just really consider, I guess, what people are trying to say about these false ministries and stuff like that. Bishop Eddie Long isn't the only one who's bamboozling people. So anyhow, this is my first and probably the worst video, but I just really had to get that out there. And again, keep exposing these snakes out here on Ringo for Life, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. So, see ya. Be good.